At Venue 360 with my guy Josh Goodin. Now, Josh has got some very important news to tell us. Josh, I'm going to let you tell them before we get into the interview.
Got my professional debut, July 6th. Want all of Luton to come out. I'm a Luton boy from birth, so I want all my Luton peoples to come out and show support. And we're going to get it cracking, start the journey.
No doubt, man, no doubt. So I knew about this before. I'm not going to lie to you. I did know about this, but
Boxing Lowdown got the lowdown.
I got the exclusive, but I'm not going to tell you guys. I thought I'd let Josh do it. Now, let's speak about it, because when we had an interview a while ago, one of the first interviews I had with you, we was talking about like the transition from amateur to pro, and at the time your ambition was to compete in the Olympics for St. Vincent, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So what changed for you alongside from then until now?
I mean, St. Vincent, like the reason why I'm called the Diamond, so I'm going to be called Josh the Diamond Goodin.
Josh the Diamond Goodin.
Because St. Vincent has 3 diamonds on the flag. Diamonds are pretty, I'm pretty, and they're as hard as a rock, and that's me. But circling back to your question, when we're talking about the whole setup of being a part of the Vincentian national team, it was very difficult. There was a lot of procedures that had to be followed. I mean, for one, there needed to be a governing body put intact, and I just didn't feel at my age and stage in my career that I could implement that and have the impact I wanted to within that space of time, to essentially turn into the amateur I wanted to be and go into the Olympics representing the country. So I just made the decision to turn professional instead. Had the blessing from the nation, got the whole of St. Vincent behind me, so we're going to get that cracking.
It's amazing, man. So I was going to say, that was going to be my next question. Just like, what sort of conversations did you have, and who was it with in St. Vincent? Was it the governing body there, or like how did you approach them to let them know? Had they already seen you fight before? Like, how was the discussion? How did the discussions go?
So we have a commission in High Wycombe. So I met up with the High Chancellor, and he gave me his blessing. He gave me his full support. Then it was just for me to essentially liaise with the Vincentian national team, the Vincentian Olympic team, to set up a governing body and follow like the procedures from there. It just became a little bit long-winded for myself again at the stage that I felt that I was at, and in an ideal world it would just be them giving me a trial to see if I was good enough, me representing the country, then me fighting for the country, but there was a lot more internal procedures that needed to be followed. So we're here now.
We're here now, man, and like you said, it was a group decision, I suppose, of your team to turn pro. Very good gym, the Bad Boys boxing gym. And you've got a lot of good professionals there as well as amateurs. When did you decide to then, when did you say to them, look, I feel like we're ready now to go pro? Was it your coach that made that decision for you or suggested it? How did you come to the end goal? Think, yeah, okay, well, let's do this now.
I think it got to a point. I had a fight back in March. That went really well, and it was quite organic in terms of my styles always suited the pros, and we knew my time was limited in amateurs. I'm 26 now, so I had to make a strong. My next move had to be a strong move. It had to be a solid affirmative move, whether it be to follow the amateur, pursue the amateurs, or pursue a professional career. And then we just sat down. Wasn't able to get all the amateur fights that I wanted to. A lot of fights pulled out.
It's common in the amateur game, isn't it?
It was common, so it was just it was quite organic in that sense that me and my coach just had a discussion. I said, look, do you feel I'm ready to turn pro? And he said, you'd suit professional, so you would be a great professional. And then it was as simple as that. Turn professional made the decision back end of April, and then here now, July we're going to have the first fight. So it was a quick process for myself. So I'm real happy with it.
Well, what sort of transition have you been making? Obviously, the amateurs and the professionals is completely different from each other. We've spoke about that before. What sort of transition have you been making to get yourself adjusted to the pro game?
I actually don't think too much, because my style was like quite a pro style, especially as I started moving down the weights in the amateurs to more of a comfortable weight in terms of the size and stature of my opponents. I ended up fighting.
You boxed at a higher weight in the amateurs, didn't you?
I started off at light heavyweight and I was fighting some giants.
Yeah, some big guys at that weight,
some
man.
real giants, and I only took one loss at light heavyweight. Had 8 wins, and it was.
You was a two-weight East Midlands champion, wasn't
East
you?
Midlands champion, so that was a proud accolade of mine. But at that weight, I was more like moving about, making sure I didn't get hit. Because you don't want to get hit off them big guys, because all of a sudden you'll find yourself on the canvas. Whereas when I went down to middleweight, I knew I can stand and trade a lot more. And so when I was coming down the weights, I sort of found my feet, found how to plant my feet and land my shots. And you don't want to get caught with a left hook to the body.
Absolutely not, man. So that's good. That makes sense. I mean, it makes sense for you to. You're not going to turn pro at a higher weight when you don't need to. If you can make a lighter weight, you're going to obviously, as long as you've got your strength, then it makes sense to fight at middleweight. Now, July, that's going to be a professional debut. Do you know much about the opponent? Like, do you know anything about him at all?
No, I don't. Basically, there's a journeyman on the scene. He's got like a moustache and he's a good level journeyman. He's been in there with some decent opponents, and I wanted him because I saw him at a previous show, and I said, look, to my manager, I said, look, get this guy, because he comes to fight and he does all this posturing. He's a bit like a journeyman Tyson Fury, so he'll come to fight and he'll make an entertaining night. I didn't want just a can to come and just cover up and move around and make me look bad. I wanted someone that would throw hands, allow me to show my skills and show my hands down, flashy style. So he'll do that for sure. So it won't be a walk in the park. In terms of there's not going to be no front punches thrown back. So whoever comes up on July 6th, which I'm expecting a whole gang of people, they're going to get a good night.
Is it a different sort of pressure for you, because you always had people that come up to watch your fights? I mean, I went up to watch your fight before, the one that got cancelled, and the amount of people that came up for Luton for that one. As a professional, your professional debut, is there a different sort of pressure for you now, or is it just the same? You know, you go in the ring, all business, you know what you need to do, and that's it.
No, I think it's like, not what a lot of people know is the intricacies of turning professional. It all looks razzmatazz and it all looks easy. But one of the difficulties that I'm now having to do, and I know like one of my teammates, Ryan Amos, who you're going to meet soon, he had these difficulties, and it comes down to selling tickets.
I had that in my head. That's what you were going to say.
And selling tickets is like, for me, I know there's a lot of people that want to come watch me, but it's now organising my time to be efficient. So I'm promoting myself. I'm making sure people get the tickets whilst training, whilst making weight, whilst dieting.
That's a problem that a lot of pros in the game go through, isn't it?
It's a problem. So, I mean, for me, the pressure isn't actual fight night. It's a lot before then. So, and it's juggling all those different aspects for when it comes to fight night. Because when it comes to fight night, that's when I'll be in my comfort zone. Right now, it's okay, shit, I've got to train hard. I know I've got to get my hours in every day, but now I've also got to make sure I have the energy levels to make sure everyone's getting their tickets, make sure everyone knows that they're getting value for money. I fight up in Nottingham, but I'm a Luton boy, so I've got over 100 people wanting to come from Luton alone, and some of them want transport, some of them want to have a real good night out and not drive up there. So now I'm trying to get coaches to help those people come up and enjoy their night out, and then looking for a sponsor to subsidise that coach. If not, it's going to come out of my purse. So, but I want them people to come. So they're the intricacies, and that's when we're going back to your question. That's more the pressure, not actual fight night.
How difficult is it for like a fighter fighting on like a small hall show to get the attention of one of the big wigs like Neddy Hearn or Frank Warren to pay attention and say, okay, this guy's good? I know that they normally have first dibs on like the amateur system, like somebody that just come out of the Olympics or the Commonwealth Games or something like that. But we've seen stories of, like, you know, successful stories of guys in the small hall before come up and, you know, make a massive name for yourself. Is it just the fact of keep winning and looking good, or do you think there's another route to it possibly?
You got to sell tickets.
Yeah.
You got to sell tickets. I mean, look at Josh Warrington. Like, I mean, Josh Warrington's gone on to be a great champion, but if you look at his trajectory compared to someone like Kid Galahad, who they're going to be fighting in a couple of weeks, Kid Galahad's arguably just as skilled, but in terms of selling tickets and commercially his value is nowhere near the likes of Josh Warrington. And Josh Warrington got a title shot 2-3 fights ago. So it comes down to selling tickets. Are you a commercial draw? If you're a commercial draw and you are exciting as well as that, you can't just be like you've got to back it up in the ring as well. But you definitely have to be a package. You definitely have to be a package that the promoter buys into. You look at Josh Kelly on the weekend; he's a package that Eddie Hearn bought into. Anthony Yard, he had a similar amateur career to me.
Yeah, that's a great example.
Yeah, he was. I think he had like a similar. I had 11 amateur fights. I think he had like 12.
Didn't have many.
Didn't have many. I think we lost about the same amount. I think he might have lost 1 or 2. Same amount, similar trajectory. Frank Warren saw his commercial value, and saw his potential boxing value, and then they worked on that, and now he's massive. He's massive, especially in the UK scene. He's on the verge of a title shot.
Absolutely.
Don't know where that's going, but. Like he's thereabouts. So it's just about getting in front of the promoter, showing them what you can do, and showing them that you can sell tickets. And if you do that, then the opportunity is amazing. And I think, watch this space, because I think I know I can sell tickets. I know I'm popular enough, and it's now for me to show all those people that come and watch me that I've got the skills as well. Because that's how we're going to see repeat purchase. That's how we're going to see people coming back to want to watch me again. And so that's my job. First getting them there, and then keeping them there.